Hello and welcome to Brussels. It is the scene of the International Federation for Animal Health Europe Conference 2015, and the title of that conference is Healthy Animals, Healthy Food, a Healthy Future.
I want to give you a very warm welcome today.
CIVA is a member of Ifah, as it's called, and when you see the themes for this conference you'll understand why. The first of those, not surprisingly, involves Europe's position in the food security challenge. Sustainability, very much a word of the moment, and that is related to animal production, but also animal health, very close to CIVA's hearts. And last but not least, another word that we're very used to in CIVA, innovation, when it comes to animal production, but also to consumer acceptance. It's also changed over time here at Ifah. One chairman is retiring at the end of his tenure, a new chairman is coming in. So my colleague, Martin Mitchell from CIVA, asked both of them what has been achieved and what is going to be achieved in the future.
The things that the Council, that we as a Council of Ifah Europe have focused on is strengthening, first of all, the coordination of how we operate, our ability to monitor the things that are changing in the environment, and to be more focused on acting on the things that make the most difference for our industry, because things are moving very rapidly. And with this, what we achieved is to reorganize the way in which we operate, the way in which we choose our priorities, and also the way in which we decide to communicate externally in order to strengthen the image of Ifah Europe and the impact that we can have on important stakeholders.
For me, the target for the future, the most important thing is to open up more to the outside, to partners, to politicians, to decision makers, and to be more open, even more open than in the past, to help, to support and to drive change in our interest, of course, but also in the interest of animal health in total.
The role of the private sector in the improvement of animal health was also recognised at the conference.
Clearly, without industry, there's no innovation. So all our members are relevant, in particular CIVA. And when I started this job 3 months ago, one of the things that fascinated me was to see the amount and the percentage of turnover that is spent by companies on R&D and innovation, and that's 12%. This is a huge amount. This is an added value that our industry is bringing to Europe, and this should be known, and this is why we're fighting so hard for this new legislation, to make sure that they can make these products more easily available to all throughout Europe, and that all the administrative hurdle and battles that we're fighting will be reduced so that we can actually put our energy where we have to in producing and developing and making available products for pets and for food-producing animals.
As we reported yesterday, the nation's largest egg-producing state, Iowa, has declared a state of emergency following a major outbreak of the avian flu. Millions of chickens and turkeys there and in Wisconsin and Minnesota have been killed to try to contain the disease. For more about all this, we're joined now by...
And with recent outbreaks of avian influenza in various parts of the world, including the USA, the development of vaccines by those private companies was also touched on by another leading animal expert who addressed the event.
What we can do is to prevent the spread of the diseases, to prevent the introduction of the infectious agents into our herds, flocks, and so on, the animals. So I think the prevention is the key point.
You know, you face challenges, Q fever, avian influenza, and you've worked very closely with the private sector to do that. How important is that, sort of that link between the public and private sectors when we look at disease control?
I think we have the common interest, that's why we have the common responsibilities. I think the communication is crucial. First, this is the first line. We have to build up or maintain direct communication between the industry and the veterinary service, the authorities, the society, the public, and in this way we will be able to control or to protect our animals.
As our title suggests, this is a European conference, but the issues being discussed here, sustainability, food security, innovation, are very much part of the global scene. So there were speakers here from the developing world too.
Three things combined is going to drive the demand for animal source foods up. It's already driving it up. There's our population growth, growing quite rapidly in the developing world. Urbanization, also growing quite rapidly. But incomes increasingly going up in the developing world. And these three factors, particularly income, allow diversification of diets, and in that context, more animal source foods. So demand is rising very rapidly in all regions of the world for all animal source foods.
One of the questions on the agenda for one of our key speakers at the conference has been this: is food security and affordability an issue in Europe? Well, it certainly was, according to that speaker, who has direct experience among the growing number of food banks giving out free food to needy people throughout Europe.
Maybe the European Union cannot fix ultimate solutions, but they really can encourage member countries to mobilize and start initiatives. As in the case of Spain, there was a new strategy on the fight of food waste, and it was incentivized by the European Union. So that is what we look for. We need help, and we cannot only stay in Spain. We have a whole network of food banks that are ready to take action and to show the problem, and of course to promote initiatives.
The role of consumers, who are paying a significant part of their household budgets for food, was not forgotten in a session entitled Innovation and Acceptance.
What I think, especially when you look at the development of new technologies and innovations, is the main point is that you should involve consumers up front when you are going to develop something. Now it's most often the case that consumers are consulted when there is already a new product or a new technology, and then you are probably too late. So that will be my main message.
And with the Dutch due to gain presidency of the Council of the European Union in 2016, the conference was keen to hear about their planned approach to food and animal products and production.
There are some ideas on what we will give priority to, and antimicrobial resistance is one of them. But the agenda is not stable as of yet. But what we will do with ambition. This is also what is expected from us. And then, I mean, a lot of the agenda is also dictated by what's on the table in terms of legislation that needs to be discussed with the member states and with the parliament. And there's a lot of work to be done in that field as well. So
a great deal of discussion on key issues at this year's conference, and no doubt there's going to be a lot more debate in the future. This is Nick Wood from the Brussels 2015 Europe Conference saying bye for now.